And welcome back to Sin and Finn, the Dugout Decision Show.
And the Blue Jays continued their winning streak into the series against the Pirates back home at the Rogers Center. It was a musty weekend out in Toronto in the Ontario area.
Yeah.
Plenty of rain, but that didn't stop the Blue Jays from winning, and they win another series, and it's against the Pittsburgh Pirates, a pretty decent team. And while doing that, they beat one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, in Paul Skenes.
Yeah. I was at that game. I went Saturday. You're right about the rain. It was coming down hard. I mean, getting to the field, I wasn't out in the rain too much. I'm indoors. I'm in the train a lot, but even just a little bit, I was outside. It was absolutely pouring. It was soaking in there. Thank God for the Rogers Center having a roof. Like so many other fields should take note of that, and other teams should take note of that. Like remember Yankee Stadium? I think the Thursday night game was delayed like 2 hours because of rain. Take note of that. Other stadiums, like we don't need rains, the games to keep getting postponed or canceled or whatever. But nonetheless, with the dome closed, pretty cool outside as well. One guy that was absolutely dealing was Patrick Corbin that day. I got to start with him. I know there were a couple guys in the lineup that were really good against Paul Skenes in this game. And again, you lose the last game of the series, which I always said just sucks. The vibes are always terrible when you lose the last game. But starting with that game against Paul Skenes, I'm going in there thinking, who's the guy he's going up against? It's not Dylan Cease. It's not Trey Savage. It's not Kevin Gosman. Not even Spencer Miles, who's been doing really good for us lately. It's Patrick Corbin, the demon, the southpaw coming in there against, like you said, one of the best in the league, if not the best right now. And he outdueled him. That's just simply what it is. He outdueled him. 6 innings in this start, the longest he's gone with the Jays, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run. I think at one point he retired 14 straight batters. And this is a Pittsburgh Pirates lineup that is much improved. Connor Griffin in that lineup, O'Neill Cruz that can send a ball 500 feet, Brian Reynolds, Brandon Lau, who's always been a Jays killer. Like Brandon Lau has always killed the Jays in the past. So he shut them down. Masterful to watch. I'm watching from the outfield, just watching him dice. I can't see where the ball is going, but I know it's going right across the plate. I'm seeing the swings and misses. Some of them were ugly too, like ugly swings and misses. And he's only throwing like 91. So shout out to Patrick Corbin. I don't know how long he's going to be in this rotation, but he's really making the case for sticking around long term.
Yeah. We're so excited about Patrick Corbin right now. He's the second guy we're supposed to talk about, but
I know.
we're just so excited. We got to talk about
Had to do
Patrick
it.
Corbin. So, it was such an oddity, and baseball is so weird. Like if you
Yep.
in other sports, if you see like I don't know, it's SGA and the mighty OKC Thunder against
Yeah.
I don't know, like some bottom team or like the Charlotte Hornets. I know the Charlotte Hornets were
Yeah.
good, but I can't think of an awful team. Like you're just like,
The
okay, like
Wizards, the Washington Wizards are
the
bad the other way.
Wizards. Thank
There.
you, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm taking the money line. I'm taking
Yeah.
taking the Wizards. I'm not a betting man, but if I was taking
Yeah.
taking not the Wizards, sorry, the OKC Thunder, because it's
Yeah.
like not even close. It's not even like a thought that
Yeah.
the Washington Wizards would take the game over the OKC Thunder. And baseball is so different. And if
Yep.
you think this is the first time this has happened to the Toronto Blue Jays, you're wrong. Like if you look a few days earlier, the Cam Schlittler, Spencer Miles
Yeah.
game,
Yep.
like that was insane. And they found a way to pull out of that. And then I think Easton Lucas last year against like
Oh
Tarek
my
Skubal, just insane stuff.
God.
So crazy how that happens in baseball, and I think it happened once again here with Patrick Corbin, where you just completely were taking Paul Skenes and the Pittsburgh Pirates to win this game, and then you're going to count on your one B or one A or whatever you call him,
Yeah.
Dylan Cease, and you're going to take him over Mitch Keller any day, right? And then
Yeah.
we all see how that played out today. Very, very
Uh,
unfortunate. And but it was great to see Patrick Corbin and what was his longest outing, as well as the most strikeouts he's had for the Jays this year.
Yeah.
And it was kind of in a stretch where it was like just kind of middling performances from Patrick Corbin. Like it wasn't outstanding like this was. It was say 5 innings, give us two like give up two earned runs, 3 earned runs, something like that. Like it wasn't outstanding. It's what you expect from a five guy, and then he goes out
Yeah.
and does this. It's kind of a nice refresher to be like, okay, this guy is solid in the rotation. We don't have to keep looking at Jake Bloss throwing in Dunedin and hope he can
Yeah.
get ready as soon as possible. So shout out Patrick Corbin. it was a
Yeah.
great start, and it was huge for the Blue Jays to win that game, especially with how they played on Sunday.
Yeah. And I told you this off pod before we started. Like, I was going into that game expecting a loss. I'll be honest. I went there even as a Jays fan to watch the mastery of Paul Skenes. Like, I don't know how many times this guy's going to pitch in Rogers Center. And what do you know? It's one of his worst starts of the year. I don't think as bad as his Mets start, because I remember the first start of the year, he gave him like five
Yeah.
runs, couldn't get out of the first. So it wasn't like that. But one stat that I had down here was this was the most hits he gave up in a single start in his career, 9 hits. And I remember saying this in the last couple of pods that even though the offense for the Jays isn't humming right now, like it's not the way we want it to go. We see it against Mitch Keller. Like, again, we can't beat Mitch Keller. 1 run today. Even though the offense is not where we want it to be, we know the Jays are a team that's going to put the ball in play. Like they'll make contact. They don't strike out. I think Skeens had 2 strikeouts in this start. And granted, I don't Skeens doesn't really have the same sort of stuff that he had back in LSU. Like I remember a start he had in LSU. It might have been the college championship or something like that when he was with like Dylan Cruz and all those guys back in like 2023. He was pumping like 102 on his 120th pitch or something like that. It's not the same. I'll admit, like he's again Cy Young winner last year, rookie of the year, but it's like 97. It's a little bit different. I don't know if like a 5 mile an hour difference does that make it easier to hit. I can imagine it does. Like 102 is pretty insane. 97 is not the same. But again, he has had games. Skeens has had games where he's racking up double digit strikeouts. He has 2 against the Jays. So props to the lineup for putting the ball in play. And we'll get later to some of the guys in the lineup that were putting the ball in play. But again, I'm going there to watch Paul Skeens dominate the Jays lineup. I didn't care, honestly, if it was like a 3-2 game and we were going to lose. But Patrick Corbin outduels him, which is crazy. And the lefties coming into this year, you're thinking Eric Lauer's your lefty. Somehow the lefties have turned into Patrick Corbin instead of Eric Lauer, who, shout out by the way, is going to pitch for the Dodgers, I think, tomorrow against the Rockies or something. For all the things he said, I wouldn't have anything bad to say about Eric Lauer if he didn't have the quotes that he did. I hope he gets shelled by the Rockies tomorrow. I think it's at Dodger Stadium. That would just be hilarious to see. He's had some things that he said too since he went to the Dodgers. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
he said it
know.
was like taken out of context. I don't
Yeah,
like
I don't know, man.
I don't get that at all. It was the most blunt response I've ever heard, but
Yeah.
whatever.
So I'll be honest, I kind of want to see him get shelled. But the point is there, like the lefties, you're thinking Lauer coming in, that's your fourth, fifth starter, and that's your lefty. No, it's Patrick Corbin. And again, I know after his first start against the Twins, I said immediately, get this guy off my team. I'll admit that. I know I said that. I was wrong. And again, he could still have a start that's bad. Like he's a pitch to contact guy as well. I'm like, okay, it's the Pirates lineup. He's gonna give up 8 or 9 hits. No, like that just didn't happen. 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. So when Shane Bieber comes back, like having this guy as your 5, I'm okay with it. And I remember you told me when his year with the Rangers last year was like a 3.5 ERA, a 3.8. Fine. I'm okay with that. Give up 3 runs every inning, go 6 innings, go 3 runs every game, go 6 innings, get me 5 or 6 strikeouts. That keeps you in the ball game. If he keeps doing that, I think I'm okay with him as the 5 man.
Yeah, it ended a lot worse than I had mentioned on a few episodes back. I think he ended with like a 4.5 and like maybe close to a
Yeah.
1 WAR, which we'll take it. We'll take it. And what
It's
we're
your
getting
five
so
man.
far
Yeah.
is better than that. So thank you, Pat. Like
Yeah.
if he didn't clutch up, we would be in in an awful position. Because right now we have
Yeah.
Spencer Miles, a guy who has come out of nowhere, out of the bullpen, and is throwing 60 pitches now and very effective innings. So you would have to look to AAA and see what Cheese Dallas and CJ Van Eyck can do, and who knows what that could look like. So thank you, Pat. And I think a great segue from Patrick Corbin is the man who started that game, the Patrick Corbin versus Paul Skeens game. That was George Springer with the leadoff bomb.
Yep.
Insane, insane stuff. And like he's heating up too. A lot of people are just writing off George Springer saying, like if we're not competitive, he could get flipped at the deadline and maybe like not DFA'd, but it was getting rough. It was getting
Yeah.
we were talking about him coming off the injured list, hitting 180, and then him before the
Yeah.
injured list hitting like 185. Like it was getting bad. And he was 3 for 10 in this series, 8 for 28, which isn't like, whoa, that's not like Jesus Sanchez, whoa, that we're going to
Mhm.
talk about here in a few seconds. But it's a 286 average. And I don't think the numbers do it justice because if you look at the swings are much better. They're a lot harder, and that's without looking deep into the stats. If you look at the bat speed, I'm sure the bat speed reflects what I'm seeing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I just think it's a lot harder swings. It's um, more of like a purposeful swing than what it was before, where I don't know, you're just leaning out and he had like the highest pop up percentage his whole career. Doesn't look that way anymore. It looks like he's hitting the ball on the line and hitting the balls hard. And he hit one off Paul Skenes and it was crushed. It wasn't even close. It was kind of like the Horowitz one today, the Spencer Horowitz one, where he just
Whoa.
nuked it. So
Yeah.
shout out to George Springer. No better way to get that game started. He was a big reason why the Jays won that game on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it was like third pitch, something like that. And as much as it may not have looked like it was crushed off the bat on TV, I mean, I was watching, I was sitting in the outfield. That got off the bat in like 2 seconds. It was in left field. So honestly, watching that in person, that ball was flying. I don't know the ex velo numbers. Was it 90 off the bat? Was it 110? I don't know. But what nonetheless, what a way to start. It was like 98 at the hands, up and in too. Like he's turning on it. Again, 36-year-old that we've been talking about. Like, is he going to lose the bat speed? Can he run anymore? All these things. Like, turning on 98 from Paul Skenes. That's pretty huge to see. And I think it was after the Yankees pod that I mentioned this, thinking, again, we've talked about it all year. Springer's not going to hit 32 home runs, right? Like he's not going to lead the team in home runs. I think it's pretty safe to assume that. But I think the even bigger thing that was a surprise last year was the 309 batting average. I don't know where that came from because it had been years since he had done that. He had good years with the Jays, like 21 and 22, great years, but you're still looking at what, like a 260, a 270, maybe 280. 309 came out of nowhere with the batting average. I think it was either the highest or second highest of his career. So I think it was after the Yankees pod that I said that, you know what, I'll take some regression with that batting average. It's going to happen regardless. Like we know he's not going to hit 309, but I'm okay with him hitting 240, 250 in the leadoff spot if he's putting up 20, 22 home runs. Because you know what? It kind of feels like that's the way baseball's trending. And the guy that I referenced was Kyle Schwarber, who's hitting leadoff for the Phillies all the time. He'll bat like 210, but he's going to put up 50 home runs. Like the typical leadoff guy doesn't seem to be the quote unquote Luis Arias type, right? The guy that's going to hit like 330 and just poke singles the other way. That's not the way the game is going with the leadoff hitter. So I'm okay with a little bit of swing and miss from Springer at the top. If we're going to see some more power, again, 3 home runs this week. Like, I don't think that's going to continue. Like, again, what you said, like not 35 home runs this year, but I feel like I'm okay with that at a leadoff spot. The people that are saying that let's move this guy. I don't know that there are many are out there saying that, but if anyone is out there thinking that, let's move Springer down because it's all power, no contact. I'm okay with that because I feel like that's the way baseball is going. Leave him at the top of the lineup, and you know what? When he starts the game off with a home run, usually it's a tell of things to come. He did that Saturday, and what do you know? We beat Paul Skeens, so I'm okay with him in the leadoff spot and what he's doing right now.
100%. As you said, the leadoff spot is a lot different than what it was, say, 10 years ago. You look,
Yeah,
it's probably like D. Gordon or Ben
yeah,
Revere or guys
yeah,
like that who were speedsters and just like corner outfielder types or center fielders and steal bases and things like that. Nowadays, it's just power guys who can slug.
yeah,
And back then, it would have been like, yeah, we're gonna throw that guy in the cleanup spot so we can get all the RBIs. And now it's you want him batting leadoff, which is really interesting. And I think that lines up perfectly with what George Springer provides. And
yeah,
it would be huge if he could hit 20, 25 home runs. And I was watching his press conference or just interview with Hazel May. I think it was during the Yankee series. And he's like, guys, I like fans, I'm just not there yet, but stick with me because I can feel it coming.
yeah,
And it looks like that, just swing wise, and he would be huge to get going. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is another guy we'll talk about as well. Just the big guys, the big name guys, you got to get going. And we have some little name guys here who've been going. The first one I'm going to bring up is Jesus Sanchez, who was going
yeah,
on an extremely hot streak for an extended period of time. And so shout out Baby, the website again with great stats by Glenjamin on Twitter. And
yep,
I just love saying Glenjamin. It's a funny name to say. And he's been batting 488 in the past 2 weeks. And this
Holy.
may not be like an everyday kind of thing, like not lefties and righties, maybe only against righties. 488 is 488. If you're a splits, if you're a platoon guy, batting 488 against righties, holy smokes, like that's insane. I don't care if you're a righties only guy, and he did that. And recently he's been doing it with some pop too. He had two doubles in yesterday's game, and he's been super consistent. And I think the chase is coming down quite a bit too, and he's swinging it
Yeah.
hard. It's maybe sometimes it's bloops the other way, but it's a lot of hard contact, a lot of high exit velos, and it's great to see Jesus Sanchez finally get going again.
Yeah, and I know we mentioned this before, and they said it on the broadcast again today. He always just looks like the happiest guy at the plate. I just love to see it. Even sitting in the outfield, I can see his teeth smiling, like they're just that bright. He's always got a smile on his face, even when he's not performing well. Constantly has a smile on his face, which I love to see. And maybe it's helping him because, like you said, he's really going crazy the last couple of weeks. Yesterday, I think the one double was against Skenes that I saw hit to the outfield, and he went to second on a ball that I thought easily was going to be a single. He legged it out, pulled a little swim move to get into second there, so you're seeing the hustle that you didn't really see out of him before because he's one of these guys that's kind of like Vlad, bigger guy. If it's a ground ball out to right field, you're going to jog it out, just get to first base. But we're seeing a little bit more hustle out of him after he had fell down. I think it was in Wednesday's game against the Yankees, fell on his chain or something like that. I thought, great, another injury. And of course, we're going to get to more injuries in this later because the Jays' luck in 2026 is just injury plagued. But great to see him going. I think the biggest thing in sort of like early to mid May, what people were starting to call out online with Sanchez is that similar to a guy like Vlad again that I just mentioned, it was all singles, right? Like we brought Sanchez in here, not maybe expecting a 35 home run guy, but we thought, okay, David Popkins is here. He's got the bat speed. He's got the exit velo. Can we work on something? And he's still stuck at like what, 4 home runs, 5 home runs? Now it's the pop you're seeing a little bit more, like you said, with the doubles, because it was getting pretty consistent that, okay, Sanchez might go 1 for 4, 2 for 4, but it's a single. Just like it's nothing pretty, right? You're not going to get anything crazy in the outfield. And it was just singles. Like again, when the lineup is at full strength, when you have a Kirk back, when you have a Barger back, a Lucas back, all these guys, I don't think you're expecting Jesus Sanchez to be your cleanup hitter. Like, let's be real. I don't think he's really fit to be a cleanup hitter. They tried him in the two spot, remember earlier in the year? Like, listen, once these guys come back, Kirk was your cleanup hitter for a long time. Barger was your either 4 or 5 hitter a long time. If you're telling me Jesus Sanchez can move down to 6 or 7, maybe even 8 on occasion, if it's a lefty or whatever, great. I mean, look at the things he's doing in the last couple of weeks. You'll take that. Again, a little bit more slug. I'm not expecting, again, the 30 home run pop that I thought maybe we could get pushing a little bit closer to that this year. Fine. It just looks like with a lot of Jays players, they don't want to hit home runs. Like, again, you predicted Varsho to hit all the home runs. I predicted Barger. Vlad's not doing it. Like, the home runs just aren't coming this year. It's tough. But if we can see a little bit more pop out of this, just run production. Don't hit the ball over the wall. Fine. That's just not their MO right now. Run production. And he's really doing that in a big way right now.
Yeah, and would love it if you hit the ball over the wall every now and again.
Yeah.
But like even still, he has 5 home runs, and I hate to say it, Vladdy's at three. Like it's
I
just
know.
crazy how low that the power is for the Blue Jays right now. Like the power's just not there, and that's because guys like Kirk and Barger aren't there. I know, and maybe Vladdy's not getting protected, not getting the
Yeah.
the best pitches to hit, whatever. But like you just got hit for pop, and it's good to see Jesus Sanchez hit like crazy. Like go hit for 488, and I don't really care if you hit for
Yeah.
pop. Like it's just crazy how good he is and how good he's been. If you can hit at the bottom of the lineup, that's a real weapon, or even a pinch hitter if we have enough
Yeah.
guys. And it looks like Yohendrick Pinango will stay up. So if Yohendrick gets the start later in the game, you bring Jesus in for another guy. It's just a lot of weapons and a lot of left-handed weapons for this Blue Jays team. And Ernie Clement, uh, 2 RBI singles. Like it's not like you lit up the world this series and just
Nope.
went nuts. But like he's hit 348 in the last week. He's hit a lot better. And I just the eye test, I feel like he's still chasing like crazy, and that's Ernie Clement. Ernie Clement will swing at some of the weirdest pitches you'll ever see and make contact and then hit it like and get a hit off of it. Like it's just
Yeah.
insane. So he's hit 348 in the past week, and it's not like he's gonna change his plate approach. It's just kind of who Ernie Clement is. He's gonna have a really leveled swing and spray the ball and like if you're watching it on MLB.com game day, you're just going to be infuriated and be like, "Why are you swinging at these pitches?" That's just Ernie Clement, and he's producing, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, and actually, one stat that I forgot to mention about Springer and Sanchez before I get to Ernie was the only two guys with multiple extra base hits against Skenes in a single game this year are Springer and Sanchez. So I just
Wow.
forgot to throw that in there when I was talking about those guys. Huge. Again, we're talking about one of the best in the game. The only two with multiple extra base hits, Sanchez with the two doubles and Springer with the home run, obviously. But going back to Ernie, again, this is just what you expect from him, right? Like, I don't think he's going to sustain a 300 batting average. That's right where he's hovering around this year. I think last year was like a 275. He's always going to be a contact guy. He's going to only strike out maybe like 15 times on the year, but he's also going to walk only like 10. Like he's kind of like a Kirk type, never going to walk, but also never going to strike out, and he'll hit the ball anywhere. Like he had this, I remember against Cam Schlittler, where the ball was like 99 up and in on his hands, turned on it down the line, got a double. Pretty sure he did the same thing in this series on one of those singles through the hole. He's going to get a ball that's like 98 on his hands. He's going to turn on it. Like he just gets to every single pitch. Like he's not a guy like a Lenine Sosa, who I don't think we're going to mention much in this podcast, who literally doesn't walk, like literally doesn't have a walk this year. Throw the ball out of the zone. He's going to swing at it, but you know what? He's going to miss. Thing with Ernie is you can throw the ball out of the zone trying to get him to chase. He will chase, but he's actually going to hit the ball. Like he has such great bat to ball skills. I don't know how he has those contact skills. He's developed that. Scrap the power. I don't care. He's going to hit 4 home runs this year, six. I don't care. Whatever it is, he's going to bat close to 300 and he's going to put the ball in play. The defense always was the bigger concern we've talked about this year. Made a good play today, like ranging to his right, playing second base. Defense is the bigger thing. I don't know why that's been a struggle this year. Again, we talked about is it injury related, all the playing he did last year, adjusting to second base. I don't know. Regardless, it's great with the bat right now. It's just, I feel like last year we saw a more complete player. And I actually shout out to Tristan Morgan, who joined me on last episode. I asked him last week, do you think Ernie eclipses his 4.3 war from last year? And I'll ask you this now because a lot of that was coming from his defense. Like he won the gold glove, I'm pretty sure, at the util position. Like again, we're seeing the range kind of diminished, the sprint speed diminished a little bit. If he keeps up the hitting the way he is, he might eclipse that. But my thinking is, I don't think he'll get to 4.3 this year, honestly, with the defense.
Yeah, I hate to be a pessimist. I'm never a pessimist. I don't think there's a shot he gets a 4.3, and it's because of a lot of different things. It's not only the defense. He's slower, which
Yeah,
is interesting if you look at the sprint speed on Baseball Savant, and the glove is obviously a thing as well. And I think he's hit like contact wise better than he was last year, but he's
yeah,
not going to accumulate that WAR based off hitting. Like it's Ernie Clement. Like guys like Juan Soto get all of their WAR off
yeah,
hitting because they hit for power. Ernie Clement's a single doubles guy. He gets a lot of doubles. I think he's at like 16, 18
yeah.
doubles on the year,
Leading
which
the league,
feels
actually. Leading the league.
wow, yeah,
Yeah.
which feels insane, but I don't think he'll get his war through hitting. So with defense and base running, I don't think he gets to 4.3. I think he's a 2.5, 3 guy. And it like early on in the season, I started getting some, and I hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it right now. I started getting some Santiago Espinal vibes.
Ooh.
And Ernie Clement
Ooh.
had a way higher peak than Santiago Espinal. But let's just look at the way Santiago Espinal fell off. He was he was an all-star player. Like we can talk about whether or not he should have been an all-star or not. Sure, whatever. But one thing for sure is he was a terrific defensive player. Like terrific. Like he could be at second, short, third, didn't matter. He was going to be terrific. And then you get to what, 2023, I think, 2020, yeah,
Yeah.
2023, 23, and he just
Yeah.
forgot to field. And it was really, really weird because he was just the model of consistency defensively. And I think a lot of that may have been putting on too much weight, like putting on too much muscle and wanting
Yeah.
to hit for more pop, and then you just don't have as much range defensively.
Yeah.
But I started getting that kind of vibe a little bit with Ernie Clement, just like they're both second basemen who have moved around the infield, kind of around the same age, and your defense just like goes into thin air. Like I don't really know what happened there.
Yeah.
So good to see Ernie Clement come out of it, and don't want to scare Blue Jays
Yeah.
fans with the Espinal comparison. I'm sure Ernie will be fine, and the defense will come together in the second half and from now on in the season. But just kind of what I felt watching first half Ernie Clement so far.
Yeah, because I caught a glimpse of the Dodgers Brewers game yesterday, just scrolling through the TV, and the first thing I see is Espinal with like a
Oh
520
no.
OPS or something. It's just horrible.
Oh,
So, but good call on the defense actually, because I just pulled it up here as you were mentioning that. Point nine, just defensive war I'm going off here in baseball reference for anyone out there. I'm not going off Fangraphs here, just baseball reference is the first one I pulled up. Point nine defensive war in 2021 and a one flat in 2022. Solid, right? You'll take that of a guy up the middle who was moving around a lot, granted, as well. And then, like you said, it went to a zero, just flat. He didn't put up any defensive war in 2023, then went to the Reds in 24 and had a negative point 0.5. So you can see the decline right there. I mean, it was pretty obvious. Like you said, what was the reason for that? I don't know. With Ernie, he was playing so much again, just like all the guys last year, having that play out front, as exciting as it was, it's a lot of baseball, shortens your offseason. As much as we like that as fans, it shortens the offseason. You get right back to baseball. These guys do need recovery time. We see that. Like, look how early in the year a lot of these guys were getting injured. Like, it didn't happen last year. These guys were not getting injured. Some of it is fluke stuff. Yes, Alejandro Kirk got hit in the hand. Like, that's a fluke thing. George Springer fouled a ball into his foot. That's a fluke thing. Addison Barger running to the bases, and yes, he snaps his ankles, almost both ankles somehow on the same play. Yes, a lot of these are fluke things, but would these guys be better suited and stronger for the season had they not played for that long and had a bit of a longer offseason? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's as simple as that. There isn't really a clear answer. If there was an injury with Clement, I don't think they'd keep playing him. Like, remember the vertigo thing with Nathan Lucas? Like, I know it took a while, but still, after like 2 or 3 weeks, they're like, okay, put this guy on the shelf, give him some time. Came back, was doing great, and then of course back on the injured list. But we're pushing June here, and they still haven't said anything about Ernie. So I don't think it would be an injury thing. He's just going through it.
I think it could be a possibility because
Yeah,
I think he's
maybe,
similar to George Springer in that aspect,
maybe.
where like they just push him through everything because
It's true.
they know he can handle it. And if you look back to
Yeah,
last year, the end of last year, holy smokes, like
yeah,
Ernie Clement was getting beat up
yeah.
at the end of the regular season. And what they do, like he didn't get an IL stint. They barely
No,
talked about it, and it just looked like he was laboring on the field. But still playing every day. And so could that be a possibility where, I don't know, got hit on the hands and didn't miss the game after that day and just has played since and just not been 100%? I think sure, like they just kind of push those guys because you don't have the luxury right now. And I think I was listening to Blue Jays radio yesterday, and Tyler Heineman has had some back problems recently, and I think he was feeling it
yeah,
yesterday's game as well, and he didn't have the time to fully heal from his back spasms early in the season. If you remember when Brandon Valenzuela came up at the start of his stint with the Blue Jays, and he's been fantastic, but at the start of his stint, you would see like 7 straight starts, which is
yeah.
like you don't see that ever, especially for a guy
No.
who just got called up for a catcher. And so it's because of the back spasms for Tyler Heineman. And he still wasn't fully healed and was kind of forced back into action. So what are you going to do? Bring up the AAA catcher? I don't even know who the AAA catcher
Hey,
is.
we brought over Willie McIver. What a name!
Willie
Like, bring
McIver
him up.
and Brandon Valenzuela. So
Jeez.
you just don't have that luxury. You just kind of got to push guys, and it's kind of
Yeah.
tough for fans as well because you have to judge these guys based off stuff that may not be
Yeah.
known, and you just kind of look like idiots because of it. Like, oh, Nathan
Yeah.
Lucas had vertigo, and I'm friggin' calling him out every episode. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So
I know.
it's just the nature of fans not knowing everything. But I think Ernie Clement could totally be going through something that we don't know of right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Heineman thing, right? Who was going through with the back. How about Valenzuela, who's had endless times where you'll have a game and like four balls are ricocheted off the batter and it goes right into his arm or his leg or something. And I think it was yesterday's game as well, or actually it might have been today's game or Friday, one of the games in the series, I forget which one, where he had an at bat where he fouled the ball right off his calf and then fouled the ball off his ankle. Then in the bottom half of the inning, gets the ball fouled off his arm or something like that as he's the catcher. Like, what a rough inning. And he's had multiple games like that where he's just getting absolutely beat up by back there. He's a young guy. He's a strong guy. We expect him to handle this workload. But again, and again, because Heineman is 34, 35, he's getting up there, he's older. But still, that doesn't mean we just want to put Valenzuela out there, like you said, 6 or 7 days of the week, because they don't have many off days for now. I think it's like 17 straight games they're playing,
Yeah.
and this guy's getting beat up back there. Like even with Ernie, like you mentioned last year, I remember him. I think it might have been him or Springer, one of the guys saying by the end that by game 7 of the World Series, they couldn't feel their hands. Like their hands were going numb from just swinging the bat, fielding all the time. Like, can you imagine the vibration of you're getting jammed to like 100 and you're doing it multiple times? Like, it's going to hurt at some point. So, who knows? I mean, the first time they get an off day, they're going to enjoy it. I don't know when that's going to be. It's going to be like mid-June. I don't know. Just go in the sauna, go in the hot tub, whatever. Get all your recovery in because these guys are getting beat up. But let's go to another guy now that, listen, we've been talking about this guy endlessly now. Yohendrick Pinango. I don't know what more there is to say about the guy when it comes to the conversation of who do you send down with when one of Lucas or Barger comes back. Like we've been saying this for weeks that Pinango has been making the case to stay up in the major leagues. Well, what do you know? We went another week where neither Lenyn Sosa or David Schneider put up more than 2 hits each in the week, and Pinango keeps doing it. 4 hits alone in the Pirate series, 4 for 10 in the series, had an RBI double off of Skenes yesterday, and batting 313 on the year. I pulled up the stats before the Pirate series after the Yankee series in last pod of what are the stats of Sosa, Schneider, and Pinango looking at them. I think Sosa was hitting like 200 on the year, batting like 150 in his last 7 days. Schneider was batting like 130 with like a .8 batting average in his last 7 days. Pinango was the one guy who, even though he was struggling a little bit in his last 7, was hitting like 210 or something like that, still batting. There you go, 313 on the year. So even when he's struggling a little bit, that just shows you how great his start was. Like again, looking at all these guys, I don't care about the platoon. I don't. Have said this before. Just because Lenyn Sosa and David Schneider are right-handed hitters, I think Sosa's the first guy that would go because you DFA him probably, and he's just not providing a lot to this team. Schneider could still hit lefties sometimes. I don't care about the platoon thing, hitting righties and lefties, because these two guys that are righties can't hit the lefties right now as it stands. So I don't care that Pinango's a lefty and Lucas and Barger lefties. Play the guys that are performing. He's really making the case. The defense is great out there. It's okay. Like it's nothing flashy, but you'll take what you get from him out there. 313 on the year, a little bit of pop that we're seeing, a couple doubles down the line. He's raking the ball as of late. And again, really making that case to stay with the major league roster.
Yeah, and my dad was watching the game with me today, and one of the guests who's been on the podcast, and he was
Yes, sir.
saying, "Wow, Pinango's just really been scuffling of late," and it's like I don't know, man. Like
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
Like you think that, but like it's probably because he started his stint off batting 400 for like a week. Like
Yeah, it's true.
he just set such a high bar. He just can't really
Yeah.
settle in and have a tough stretch because we'll just hold him to that bar. But going 4 for 10 this series is nuts, and it's just like a
Yeah.
casual 4 for 10. It's not really like, oh, Yo Hendrick's hot. Like watch out for Yo Hendrick. It's just okay. Pinago's back. Like
Yeah.
it's just like it seems like an everyday thing where like 4 hits in a series, 3 hits,
Yeah.
or like a multi-hit game or something like that. A clutch RBI single or a clutch double, and like just feel like there's so many of that and so much of that. And yeah, of course it's forcing the Blue Jays' hand because Lucas is coming up. They said on the broadcast like he'll be in Toronto and
Yeah.
could be activated. So it's decision time. Like it'll be interesting what they choose to do. I sure hope not that Hendrick gets sent down. Like I don't think it'll happen because that would just be a wicked move to send him
Yeah.
down like 2 times in a week with
Yeah.
the way he's been performing. And but I also think that you don't DFA Lenyn Sosa yet, just just because Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got hurt today
Yeah.
and he's
It's
an
true.
option at first base. That is the only reason why I feel like the Blue Jays wouldn't DFA Lenyn Sosa yet. And so yeah, that'll be interesting with Davis Schneider having an option as well. Maybe they just take that route and send him down. So we'll see. We'll see. It's decision time, but all that I know is Yohendrick Pinon goes fourth Blue Jays hand. Either
Yeah.
way, like they did not expect him to do this well, just straight up. Like they didn't call him up to perform this well. And I think another aspect of Yohendrick performing so well is hey, we got other guys in AAA too performing well. And if you're
Yep.
watching today's broadcast, they were doing a little farm
Yes, sir.
report. Oh, we got Charles McAdoo playing second base the past two games. Is that a coincidence? No, I don't think so. Because what is he going to do? Like play third base when you got Barger and Okamoto when Barger comes back. Like it's pretty big of a log jam over there. But I think second base there's some more wiggle room, and even first base if Vladdy's out for a while. So interesting with him playing different positions, and if he's performing well at AAA, why can't he perform well in the bigs? Because that's exactly what Andrew Pinango is doing right now.
Literally took the words out of my mouth. Just as you were talking about Pinyango and then went to the minor league guys, he was the first one I was thinking of. I know Josh Kasevich, for anyone that remembers, he was the guy that I mentioned, I think, right before the Yankee series. I said Monday, just get rid of Sosa and bring up Kasevich. That might have been a little bit too rushed. I'm still of the belief that at some point we're going to see Kasevich. Talk about a super utility guy, plays everywhere. But just the way they're talking about it, like you see these farm reports on the broadcast, they don't ever seem to really mention him. Like they're mentioning other guys all the time. Still not
Yeah.
mentioning my guy RJ Schreck, who had the player of the week in the minor leagues one time. I still want to see him get called up at some point, but it's just tough. Another lefty outfielder, and you got
I
Pinango doing
know,
this.
there's just
It's,
no shot.
yeah, there's just no room. Like there's no way to get him up unless, like, listen, if he has a week, he hit I think 600 that one week when he won Player of the Week. If he hits 800 with 5 home runs in a week, just do it. I just want to see it because we need offense right now, honestly. And speaking of needing offense, and you mentioned the McAdoo thing, like, yeah, second base is what they're trying him out to get him some more reps. But assuming that Ernie is going to be your second baseman and he figures it out defensively, which I think is going to be the case, I don't think he's going to struggle like this the whole year at second base. Well, the bigger situation, which you mentioned, the only reason that you may keep Sosa around is because of Vlad's injury today that happened where he got hit on the elbow. And if he has to miss any time, they said today that there was no fracture. He had an x ray. There was no fracture. It's just a contusion, just a little bit of bruising. But still, I would imagine he's probably not in the lineup tomorrow. You know what? Because Lenny Sosa's not doing anything, Charles McAdoo's position is either first or third. Let him have it at first base. That's the position he's used to. It's not the new one like second. And if Sosa's not doing anything, why not try the farmhand? Like we're not used to doing this. We did it with Trey last year, right? We're right away. Only 1 year in the minors. The same year, bring him up. Just try him. And you know what? He was amazing. I think we need to do that a little bit more. Like teams are doing that a little more. Look at your guy, Connor Griffin with the Pittsburgh Pirates, gets called up immediately this year. Like teams are doing that more. I think we need to do that. Try it with Charles McAdoo. I don't know. Do it for the Marlins series if Vlad's going to be gone for that, for example. He's got a little bit of pop. Maybe he gets a couple home runs or something. I don't know. Like try it out with Charles McAdoo at first. Big guy performing well at AAA. And then if it doesn't work, okay, send him down. Because that's what we basically did with Pinango. Tried him. Okay, he's doing well. Keep him up here. If he wasn't doing well, sure, send him right back down. But going back to Pinango now, I'm just thinking if they were to send him down, like you've just wasted two options, which would be so stupid. Because again, they wasted the first one when Barger came back and immediately goes right back on the IL. So it would just suck to lose that option. Again,
How many
you're
do you have to play with? I think it's five, right? Am I right by saying that?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
five. So, somewhere, yeah, it's somewhere around there, 4 or 5. So I don't know, like the Sosa thing, you're not losing anything because you just DFA the guy. And again, like not a single walk this year. He just swings at everything. Don't throw the ball in the zone because he's not like Ernie, where if you throw it out of the zone, he'll swing and maybe hit it. No, you know he's not going to hit it. Like he can't. I think he had one hit this entire week, and I think it was Friday night. I think it was. He was batting cleanup. Like, dude, cleanup Lenine Sosa. That's one of those lineups we're going to look back in September in the offseason, looking back and thinking, wow, that was a Blue Jays lineup in 2026. Remember, just like when we were at that game, the Josh Fleming outing, another one of those things against the Dodgers. Like, you just look back and think, wow, that was part of the 2026 Jays. They moved him down against the Skenes start because if he was batting cleanup against Skenes, I would have. And you know who was hitting cleanup? Pinango. What do you know? RBI double off Skenes. It's just working. So they have to keep him up. And yeah, I don't care. I mentioned Kasevich a while ago. If it's McAdoo, sure, try a guy in the minor leagues. Let's go to another guy, though, who was great. Listen, I called Dylan Cease the ace a couple weeks back. I'm going to stick with it. But another guy who's making a case for you because you said, let's ride the hot hand, the guy that's been around for a couple of years here, it's Kevin Gosman. Stellar on Friday. I look back on this series, honestly. Series win. The big headline was you beat Paul Skenes on Saturday, but I feel like we kind of forgot like Kevin Gosman deal on Friday. And I remember talking about the last couple of weeks. Listen, the strikeout numbers weren't really there. Like the velo's kind of declining. This is why I'm thinking Dylan Cease is the ace. Well, he shut me up a little bit. 6 2/3 innings in the start, 1 earned run and 8 Ks. kind of crazy to say, but very similar to the Patrick Corbin outing. Like the two guys that went out there throwing 6 innings, 7, 8 strikeouts, only one earned run. Huge. Again, against a good Pittsburgh Pirates lineup, have some really solid bats in that lineup. Huge to see for Gosman because he was on that track of a couple starts there that just weren't really great. Not bad. You're never really going to get a bad Kevin Gosman outing, but maybe it's like 5 innings, give up 4 runs, and it's like 2 or 3 strikeouts. So just good to see him get on a better track in the start.
Yeah, I think it's just a great reminder to not worry about Kevin
Yeah.
Gosman. We do this like every month, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it could even be on a start-to-start basis where he's just
Yeah.
chucking 90 miles per hour, and we're like, Kev, what's going on? And
Yeah.
then like the end of the outing, he's just pumping gas. Or even later in the inning, like
Yeah.
he's the guy who starts the inning off throwing slow, thinking he can get me over pitches, which is likely true,
Yeah.
except for some mistakes sometimes where guys know it's coming, but he usually gets away with it, and it just kind of
Yeah.
stresses us out a little bit seeing a 91, seeing a 92 on the board, and he's just so good. He's incredibly good. This is like an ideal outing. He went into the seventh inning, which is fantastic and all you could ask for from a starting pitcher. Allowed 1 run, perfect. 8 Ks, great. With the Ks, like I'm at the point, like I've said this a few times, I don't care what the K thing, how many strikeouts you have in a game is. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun if you have Kevin Gausman on fantasy and he's striking out 10, 12 like he did in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Um, doesn't matter. It does not matter if the results are similar. If he's given up a lot of home runs, if he's given up a lot of runs in general, and yeah, maybe then you're like, okay, he's not striking out as many guys and giving up a lot of runs. Maybe it's a splitter thing. Like he's not striking out guys. You kind of gotta rely on a fastball more so because your splitter's not working out, and then the fastball kind of starts to get crushed. But he's been so good. Like he's just incredibly good and tied for longest outing on the season. And about the Ks, about the strikeouts, it was the most strikeouts he had in an outing since the first 2 starts of the season, which were 10 and 12 strikeouts. And that was Cy Young Kevin Gausman to start the season. And since then, he's kind of slowed down. Well, not slowed down. Kevin Gausman's just ultra consistent. And he's just Kevin Gausman, like a mid 3 ERA guy. I think is a
Yeah.
safe bet. I just feel like that's Kevin Gausman and 160, 170 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like that is a really, really good starter. And he continued his really solid season Friday night and got the Jays a win. So my two aces, Kevin Gausman and Patrick Corbin, absolutely throwing gems and
Yeah.
love it. Love to see it.
You know what I just realized too? You just said that a good season for Gosman would be like a mid 3s ERA, which you're right about. That is the case. Me saying that Patrick Corbin had, which like you mentioned earlier, a 3.5 ERA, whatever last year, and he was solid. I'm starting to realize maybe that's not the case. Like he's doing great this year, but they're not exactly the same pitcher. They might be for this most recent outing they had. But if Gosman's like a 3.5 ERA guy, I don't think we're expecting that out of Corbin. I'll take a 4.1 then, like something like that.
I think with
Right.
Corbin, it's more the innings than the ERA. I don't really
Yeah.
care what the ERA is. If you
Yeah.
give us 150 innings, thank you. Thank you,
Sure.
sir. I'll shake your hand in person and like
Yeah.
that's an excellent job. But ERA, like whatever. If you give us a 4.5 ERA over 150 innings, go for it. Like those are valuable innings that you gave us out of nowhere. We had no
Yeah.
idea you were still in the league and you just come out of nowhere and give us 150 innings. So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of the way you have to look at it from Patrick Corbin and not really look at his box
Yeah.
score. And don't ERA watch Patrick Corbin.
No.
You just got to sit back, relax. It's an experience. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? We'll shake his hand and we'll try and get him on the pod as well. How about that? And give him a thank you. I mean, you
Yeah,
never know.
that's right.
So yeah, shout out to him. Our two aces. When again, I called Dylan Cease a couple weeks ago the ace. Like again, still racking up the strikeout numbers, but if we are looking at ERAs for those guys, like I don't
We'll
know.
get to Dylan Cease too.
Yeah. And again, what a tough thing today. I just want to mention that right now. I know we're going to get to our last guy that's in our series standouts here, but with Cease, man, since we're on the starting pitcher topic right now, just what a tough way to go with the injuries that we've been dealing with. Again, Cody Ponce immediately gone. Jose Barrios just officially announced that he's getting TJ. Like you can't really afford another starting pitcher injury after again you had like 8 or 9 starting pitchers in the offseason. You're thinking, wow, we have so many. Max Scherzer, I just realized, is the other guy. Is Scherzer ever going to come back? I don't know. He's just always in the dugout. He's there. I said, just make the guy a coach. Honestly, at this point, just make him a pitching coach alongside Pistol Pete. But point is, you can't afford another injury, and Dylan Cease today can't get through 5 innings, and he's got a leg cramp or hamstring tightness, whatever it is. I'm like, great. You're pulling at your arm. Or I thought at first he was pulling at his arm. I'm like, you're not pulling at your arm, but you're pulling at your leg. Like the next thing that you don't want in a pitcher, I've seen this before with hamstring problems or knee problems or whatever. Look at what it was with Cody Ponce again. I think it was like an ankle, a calf thing. Like lower body injuries can still affect pitchers. It doesn't have to mean they're getting TJ because something goes wrong with their elbow. Like lower body injuries are serious as well. I think it was just a precautionary thing. I don't think it's anything serious. Like he walked off on the field on his own power. He looked fine. He's talking to the trainers. I think it was just a precautionary thing. Still racking up the strikeouts. His last 2 outings, 9 2/3 innings, 17 strikeouts, now leading the entire league, not just the American League, entire league in strikeouts with 92. His problem the last couple outings has been the home runs, 4 home runs in his last couple outings. But it's just the last thing you want to see, man. Like another injury, especially to a starting pitcher. Again, the guy that I call the ace, and is going to be your ace for the next 7 years.
Yeah, I forgot it's 7 years. That's a crazy long time. Oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
Yeah.
But like one highlight you can kind of bring out of this whole situation is like as you said, it's not an arm injury and it's a lower body injury, which could be equally worse. To
Yeah.
myself, I'm not a kinesiology student. I don't really know much about the body. But I'm glad that it's not an arm injury. This guy has thrown so many innings and
Yeah.
innings that have been like hard velocity with really hard fastballs. This guy in his career hasn't thrown like 90, 91 and just get through a few years. It's been like 98, 99 his whole
Yeah.
career. And that kind of worried me from the start of the signing. Not because like he's a 4 ERA guy. It's just hey, like that's kind of worrisome that he's thrown this many innings. And I was talking about how long it would take until he hit the Jose Barrios curve, where the arm just kind of gives out and he just starts throwing 91, 92, which is a big jump from Dylan Cease. For Dylan Cease, it'd probably be go down to 94, 95, which
Yeah.
was Jose Barrios' prime. So two
Yeah.
complete different pitchers. Jose Barrios more of a finesse guy, and Dylan Cease obviously a power pitcher.
Yeah.
But that's the one highlight I get out of this is it didn't look like an arm injury, and you definitely want to avoid those. Watching Dylan Cease the next couple of years, and leg injury, I hope it's a leg cramp. I feel like that
Yeah.
happens often and would be huge if the Blue Jays could avoid that, and also Vladimir Guerrero Jr. being out an extended period of time, as they said the X-rays are negative. So who knows how, but like who knows how long they will be out for. But it's
Yeah.
just so unfortunate that I think those are the two best players on this ball club.
Yeah.
Don't look at this year. Don't even like 3 home runs, whatever, dude. But like just look at the magnitude of the player, the presence they have in the clubhouse. That would be horrendous if either of those two players were out an extended period of time. And it doesn't look like it, but hopefully it doesn't linger around. And even if they do stay around, hopefully it doesn't affect their performance significantly.
Yeah. And for the people that were comparing Vlad to like Luis Ariz and doing that talk and why is he getting 500 mil and all that, is this what you wanted? Like, did you want him to get hit on the hand and now he's out of the lineup? Because I'm pretty sure now that he's going to probably be gone for a couple days, you probably want him right back in the lineup, hitting in the 2 or 3 spot. Like, we realized pretty quick once you lose the guy, how important he is to this lineup, regardless of the power. Because we're going to get to this, regardless of his power right now, he's still hitting the ball well. There's a reason his average is always floating around 280, 290, pushing 300. Like, again, when we mentioned a guy like George Springer earlier, who we don't really expect to ever get back to 300 with the average, Vlad's a guy we do. Even though Vlad might not be that 40 home run guy anymore, you expect the average to be high. So he's still providing value to that lineup. Let's just get to our last guy here, though, from our series standouts. Touch on a quick one here. Your guy, man, at the back of the bullpen. When I was calling on Louis V to be the closer, you're sticking with this guy all the way through. Is Jeff Hoffman. Great his last couple of outings. 2 saves, had one in the Yankees series and then one in the Pirates series. Closed it out yesterday. I still have it when Jeff Hoffman comes out, the little jitters, the little nerves when he comes out thinking it's not going to go well. But I'm starting to realize maybe a lot of it was just the BABIP stuff. Like we talked about the 500 BABIP, which is just crazy. Every other ball that's hit in play gets down for a hit. 3 2/3 innings, 1 hit, and 6 strikeouts in his last 4 appearances. This is what we were seeing at the beginning of the season. Like the numbers were suggesting that he was supposed to be good. The 40 strikeouts, whatever he has on the year now in 25 innings, are great. Like that's incredible strikeout numbers. It was just, again, the ball was kind of flying out of his hand a little bit. He might hit a batter or two. He might walk a batter or two, maybe give up the occasional tank. But the home runs haven't really been a problem this year like they were last year. Like, remember, it was home run city last year for Jeff Hoffman. We're not seeing that this year. I think maybe a bit of it was unluckiness, like if that's even a word. I don't know if unluckiness is even a word. His FIP was like 3.5, 3.4, something like that, suggesting he should be better. I think that was just a result of him not being lucky and him coming back to this role. I don't want, again, people to jump to say, let him be the closer. Louis V has still been special. Okay. I'm not jumping off the Louis V boat. He's still got like a 0.6 ERA. Keep him as the closer. But if we can rely on Jeff Hoffman as a very reliable eighth inning guy, I think that's a great back end of the bullpen.
Yeah, I'm so happy for Jeff Hoffman because he's just
Yeah.
looked defeated. And
Yeah.
that's been the word we've used to describe just
Yeah.
Jeff Hoffman, like
Mhm.
all-encompassing Jeff Hoffman is just
Yeah.
defeated. And he's been so good. And I had a stat, I think it was a few episodes back where it's like Jeff Hoffman's had a multi-hit outing, like every other outing of the year. He's had a multi-hit outing. So I went back to the drawing board on the stats with this one. And and so I think it was like the last four outings he hasn't the last four outings he's allowed one hit, no multi-hit outings at all, which is a
Hey.
huge sign because that's where all the rallies started. I
Yeah.
don't think he was walking the house. Like he would walk guys eventually, but it was a lot of contact and it was a lot of contact just going like contact over the second baseman or just bloop singles and things like that. A lot of BABIP kind of stuff. And if you guys don't know what BABIP is, it's just batting average on balls in play. And so with that, it's just huge to see him regress back to the mean. And it's very hard as a fan to look at the BABIP and be like, it's 500. And for those who don't know BABIP, like 500 is insanely high, the highest BABIP I've ever seen. Like a high BABIP, I think is Brandon Marsh has the highest BABIP out of all
Mm.
batters, and it's like a 380, which is like, oh, like not good. Like watch out for this guy. And but Jeff Hoffman had a 500, which is like every other ball in play is a hit, which is horrendous
Wow.
and just so unlucky. But when I look at that stat, like yeah, it's not sustainable, but also in the back of my mind, it's like I don't see reason for it to change. Like it just kind of felt like how things will
Yeah.
go. And similar to me wanting Jesus Sanchez to be so good at the start of the season. And like I just felt like he'd be a super easy guy to root for and super awesome if he could hit like 20, 25 bombs. And who knows that could still happen. But with Jeff Hoffman, I just want him so badly to be the setup man. Like I think he'd be a really good setup guy. He's done it before. Like if what do we pay him? $12 million a year, $13 million a year. It's still a good allocation of resources for a setup guy. Having a good setup guy is a great asset, and he's
Yeah.
been terrific. In the last four outings, he hasn't allowed a run. That's even going back to the Yankees series. He's had 6 strikeouts in the past 3 2/3 innings. Awesome.
Yeah.
Giving up one hit, no earned runs in his last four outings. Jeff Hoffman, you got this, man. Like it's so much fun to watch, and it's even been in high leverage outings. Like it's not even
Yeah.
like he's just getting the lowest leverage outings you could imagine. It's two saves, and save opportunities could maybe jar him a little bit. And I was watching. I'm a big Facebook guy, right? And guys on Facebook are posting Jeff Hoffman intro music at yesterday's game.
Mm.
Are they still doing the intro music even when the
Yep.
guy's out of the closer role?
Yep.
That I hate. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? You
Yeah.
can't do that. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
traumatic like flashbacks when when you see like it just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense how you lose your job, lose your role, and they're still playing the tunes, whatever. But it's great to see Jeff Hoffman back and performing well again.
Yeah, and they have the thing right next to the bullpen because I was sitting right next to the bullpen in left field where like the smoke like shoots right out of the bullpen as you're walking out as well. They had that going as well. I'm like, really? Okay. All this for
I don't
Jeff
mess with
Hoffman.
that. I don't mess with that though. It's like just like it comes out
Yeah.
of one slot
Yeah.
above the bullpen. It's
That's
not
all it
even
is.
like a cool smoke show. It's just
I know. It's just one little thing. And you're right. They did have the music going again. But actually, it was Tristan who was with me on the show in the Yankees pod who mentioned to me that, listen, Hoffman's All Star year, I don't know if it was one All Star year or two with Philly. It was either one or two, that in those solid years where, yeah, one, where he had like a 2.5 ERA or something like that between those 2 years. Go figure, he was a setup guy. He was not a closer when he was an all-star with Philly. When we brought him over after the 24 season, we didn't bring him over because he had been a closer in the past. He had like 10 saves. That was it with Philly in 2 years. That's all he had. So go figure when was his best time as a setup man. And again, when you start to picture the back end of the bullpen, Louis is your closer, Hoffman is your eighth inning guy, Tyler Rogers, put him anywhere. I don't care. Put him in the fifth, put him in the eighth. It doesn't matter. He can be maybe your seventh inning guy. Then you bring a guy in Jimmy Garcia, who we didn't touch on in this episode, that may be back. Rumors like, is he back this week, maybe next week, early June? I don't know. I just want him to be healthy when he comes back. And again, a dynamite arm at the back end of the bullpen. Four guys right there. Braden Fisher, don't forget about him. Been great this year as well. Mason Fluharty, like Canadian. Adam Macko's up as well. Like you're starting to put together the pieces of a solid bullpen. We don't need to rush with Hoffman going back to the closer role. Louis doing it. Oh, Louis gave up a run in the Yankee series. Now his ERA is up to 0.6. Oh, get him out of there. DFA him. He's horrible. Like, stop. Okay. Louis is still incredible. And I'm not jumping off that boat when I said it back in January. He's also got like 40 strikeouts in 25 innings. Again, the workload, kind of scary looking at it. Like 25, 28 innings for these guys already in the year. And we're not even in June. We saw this last year. I hope their arms don't fall off, but like we're kind of trending towards that where we saw the velo drop off for Hoffman last year. I just don't want to see that happen again. And again, maybe that takes a little bit of pressure off Hoffman if he doesn't have to be the closer all the time. But again, if Louis needs a day off, Hoffman has to be your fill-in closer for a day because Louis pitched two of the last three. Sure, okay, it works, and you trust him. And we don't see, like you mentioned, that defeated look because that's when it was getting really bad when he's just like hands on the knees and looking up to the sky for help, and it just wasn't working. So great to see him get back in there. Let's get to our series struggles, though. Some we already mentioned with Dylan Cease and Vlad earlier. One guy that, listen, we don't have a lot of series struggles, okay? Because we won the series 4-3. We were on the road trip before coming home now, so make that 6-4 if I'm right. I think I'm right on the math there. 6-4 in your last 10, sure. And I think it was something like 8-5 in your last 12, 13, something like that. Quick math right there. I don't know. I'm not a math guy. I write about the Jays. I talk about the Jays, not a math guy.
four out of our last five. I think that's the coolest one.
That's the
Four out of our
easiest way.
last
Okay. Do it like that. Easiest way to do it. So again, don't have a lot of series struggles as much as the lineup isn't really going the way we wanted to get going. The one guy I do have to mention, and I know you mentioned a couple weeks ago, no more Kaz Okamoto slander, and I fully agreed. Like I was fully propping this guy up early in the year and thought this is our cleanup guy and he was going to be a great piece of the lineup. You have to talk about him in the struggles section. Like you just have to do it. I did it after the Yankees pod. He was batting 083 in his last 7 days. Well, guys, it didn't get any better. He had a double today to right field. Great. Shot the ball to right field off Mitch Keller. Great to see. But still, his other two at bats I think he had in this game were still horrible. I think he struck out in both. That double was his first hit since Monday. Like pretty much went the full week without getting a hit after Monday and only had two on the week. A batting average of 095 in his last 2 weeks. 14 strikeouts just in this past week. Like the strikeout numbers, I don't have them in front of me, but he's working like a 35% K rate or something like that. One out of every three at bats, he's going to strike out at this point. Like again, another one of the guys that if you throw the ball out of the zone, he's going to swing. Like that's just the case right now. Like a curveball in the ground, he's going to chase 0-2. Like he's lost the approach. We talk about some of the guys that have lost the approach. I'll be honest, I don't know what his approach is right now. Like he was starting to figure it out early on. Okay, the velo is kind of catching up to me a little bit here, and then I'm not ready for the off speed. When he had that stretch where he had like 5 home runs in a week or something like that, what do you know? He was hitting the off speed. Like the guys were throwing him, pitchers would throw him 85-mile-an-hour sliders, whatever it is. He's shooting it out to left field. He's gone right back to where we were talking in April, where he said he can't hit the off speed. He's right back to that. Like he looks completely lost against the off speed. It's kind of bad right now.
Yeah, and a big thing with rookies is just like an adjustment period, and
Yeah,
it's either they're just hitting it like crazy out of the gate, and
yeah,
kind of like Yohendrick Pinango, and
yeah,
then the league kind of figures them out a little bit, sees some flaws in their game, and attacks it severely, and that's where you see the kind of cold week or cold
yeah,
month. And so far with Kaz Okamoto, we've seen a cold month where it was just like very heavily. Just a lot of whiffs and a
yeah,
lot of strikeouts and a lot of uncompetitive at bats for about a month. And then um, I think a lot of the time it's a mental adjustment. Okay, like these guys throw crazy hard. I'm just gonna like visualize this in my mind and do this, or maybe it's I got to stay later on the breaking balls,
yeah,
things like that. With Kazuo Okamoto, it was a tangible adjustment. It was very noticeable, and he moved back in the batter's box, which may not always happen. It may be more of like a batting stance thing, like I gotta take away the leg kick or like do a toe tap or things like that that are um, less major of a change.
yeah,
And he went for a pretty major change and just moving his batting stance completely in the batter's box and moving it back. So I'm really interested to see what Kaz does to counteract these struggles because I feel like it's kind of similar to what it was before he moved back in the batter's box.
yeah,
So that's at least outcome wise. Like all the strikeouts are back,
yeah,
and it's because we were hoping after he went on that heater that his strikeout rate will just be what we expected. And I think Kirk's last
yeah,
year was like around 10%. And I think when we acquired Kaz, we were expecting 15, 20, like not
yeah,
Kirk level, but you're a contact guy. Like that's what we acquired you for. It's those critical RBI situations where you can help us score runs. And you come out of the gate with a 50% K percentage, you bring that down, and now it's back up again. So I'm interested to see what David Popkins and the Blue Jays hitting lab does with this, and even Lou
yeah.
Ionati, who are two very experienced hitting coaches, and he'll be back to hitting in no time. But I'm interested to see if it's another tangible adjustment like that. I have no idea what to come up with, but I'm interested to see how the Blue Jays can counteract these struggles from Kaz Okamoto.
Yeah, and again, when he was starting to heat up, they moved him into the cleanup spot. They thought this is the guy that's going to run produce, right? He was the only, pretty much in that little 2 week stretch, the only guy driving in runs. Now it's the complete opposite. They did move him down in the lineup. He was out of the lineup on Saturday, which I think was needed. I mean, if you put him up there against Skenes, he would look silly as much as we were hitting Skenes around. He was the one guy that I don't think was going to have any luck, aside from Lenine Sosa, that was going to have any luck against Paul Skenes. Gave him the off day, and again gets the double today on Sunday, but went right back to the same thing as next few at bats where he's just chasing out of the zone. Like you need to sort of hide him in the bottom of the lineup. We saw this in the beginning of the year when he had that good stretch the first week or two in April against the A's and the Rockies. He was hitting like seven, like the opening day lineup. I remember like Nathan Lucas was hitting two, and Varsha was closer to the top of the lineup. All those guys, Varsha or Okamoto was hitting seventh, on occasion hitting eighth or sixth in the lineup. That's what I think they need to do. Keep him in the bottom of the lineup. Hopefully, these guys again, like a Sanchez and Varsho and Springer hitting right now, can do the work at the top of the lineup. And you have guys at the bottom still producing. Like Andres is going to get a clutch hit here and there, and Ernie's still producing. So hiding Okamoto at the bottom of the lineup should work here. And then just a couple of things to mention here because I got to run to a game. I got to coach here. Is against the Miami Marlins coming up in this next series. A couple things for the forecast. Listen, I don't want to talk about Vlad anymore in the series struggles. I'll be honest. Like again, he's just a singles hitter right now. I know
Too
the power's not
depressing, too
there.
depressing. We won the series. Like, no
The
more
biggest
Vlad talk
thing,
right now.
the biggest thing, the only thing I'm gonna say is just please. The first thing I'm seeing when he gets hit in the elbow is that, oh my god, another Tommy John thing like Addison Barger. That's not the case. Again, like I mentioned, X-rays came back negative, no fracture. So for people thinking that God, Vlad's gonna be out for the year now, whatever, it's just a bruise. He's a tough guy. He's a big guy, so hopefully he battles through it. But just a couple things that I had to throw in here for the Marlins series. Eloy Jimenez is back.
Let's
I
go,
don't know
dude.
why. On a minor league deal, I think they signed it on Friday night. He was gone for basically what, like 20 days? and they brought him right back. He was DFA'd, elected free agency or in early May, and he's right back with the Jays. I don't get it. Like, sure, did another team not want him? I don't get it. Go to the Rockies or something and hit 50 nukes or whatever. But he's right back with us. I don't know when he's going to get playing time unless we're just assuming that George Springer breaks his toe again. But I just had to throw that one in there. Again, we've done the talk about Nathan Lucas and Addison Barger coming back. Who goes down? Again, it feels like it's a little redundant at this point. We've said that Pinongo has to stay up. And then the last thing I threw in here was Shane Bieber pitching in his first rehab assignment on Monday in the Florida Complex League. Again, we've seen some pitchers go down there and have nightmares down there. I'm hoping that's not the case. He's expected to throw like 2 innings. Just go dominate some 18, 19-year-olds in your first outing. Again, we're expecting like probably like a mid-June ETA for Bieber. So it's going to take probably 4, 5, maybe 6 rehab outings, but it's his first one on Monday. And again, once he's back, you don't have to be our ace. Okay. You can be a 3 or 4, and that's fine with Patrick Corbin / Spencer Miles as your fifth man, but just huge to see him get back because in the second half of the season, he'll be a big part of this rotation.
I'm gonna guess it's a month for him to come back, like a full month,
Yeah.
and that's because it's a full spring training, or maybe even like 6 weeks. It's a full spring
Yeah.
training for Shane Bieber right now. He's got to build all the way back up. He's like, what's he at? Like an inning right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Inning or
think
two.
I think
Yeah.
that's what it was. So that's not much at all, and you just got to build all the way back and do it slowly. It may be slower than spring training, just
Yeah.
because with spring training, you know for sure guys are healthy, and you're just gonna push them because you know they're capable of building back up quickly. With Shane
Yeah.
Bieber, you want this to be a slow process and one that well, when he comes back up to the majors, you know with Shane Bieber, you know he'll be fine. You'll have no
Yeah.
concerns about arm fatigue or dead arm and things like that. So I think this will be a bit of a lengthy process, but it'll be good to see him back in the rotation for sure.
Yeah, and again, we're not expecting the guy to be an ace. I know he's a former Cy Young winner and whatever he's coming back velo wise because he was like 93, maybe a little bit 94 last year. Again, coming back from Tommy John, and they really pushed him at the end of the season. Whatever you get out of him, I'll take. And again, we were wondering last year, why did he opt into that deal, the $12 million option or whatever it was? Well, turns out, what do you know? He's not going to pitch until like mid June. So maybe there was a reason why. For his sake, building his free agent value, but then also helping us down the year, it'll be huge to get him back. Let's go to the forecast though for the series. Finally, I think this is the first time where we can have a series where we're not taking the foot off the gas, not at all. We don't want to treat any of these teams we're facing as slouches, but it's one of these series where it's like, okay, we're not facing the Yankees, we're not facing the Braves, the Orioles, these big teams. Okay, I shouldn't mention the Orioles actually because they're not doing well this year, but not the big teams that we've been facing lately, and even the Pirates again, who have Skenes and all these guys. It's the Miami Marlins. Looking at the forecast, some of the pitching matchups for this series, I like the way it's looking for us in this series. Trey Savage goes game one against what a name here, Jansen Junk for the Miami Marlins, who's been just kind of whatever. He has, I think, like a 5 ERA. He's had a couple good outings. Spencer Miles / the bullpen day. Spencer Miles and friends goes on Tuesday versus Sandy Alcantara, former Cy Young winner. Again, didn't look great last year, and then this year kind of been up and down. So not the same Sandy we've seen from the past. And then Kevin Gosman versus Yuri Perez on Wednesday's game. These are favorable pitching matchups. Like again, they aren't slouches. Like Yuri Perez, flamethrower, 6'8". Sandy's the same way. He's like a tall guy, throws hard, but it's not the same version, I think, of these guys we saw in the past. I was a little hesitant to go for a sweep against the Pirates, and what do you know? 2 out of 3 panned out. I think I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna go for a sweep against the Marlins. That sweep would bring us up to 500. I think at that point we'd be like 29-29, somewhere around there. I'll do it, man. That's a series that gets us back to 500, and then by the end of May, we're finally over 500. I'm going to sweep.
I dig it. I totally dig it. Wasn't thinking along that route. You just got me hyped up though. Getting back to 500 and then feeding off
Yeah,
that Orioles pitching staff would be awesome.
yeah,
So, yeah, I think we got three of our hottest pitchers right now.
yeah,
And yes, Dylan Cease is not one of our hottest pitchers. That's just me talking like the recent outings. Yankees one was rough, and then today wasn't like sharp Dylan Cease. It was kind of uh, limping his way to the fifth inning with a high pitch count. And I think Spencer Miles has performed better his last few outings, just expectation wise. Like what we
yeah,
expect from Dylan Cease is go out there 6 innings. That's well, at least what I expect is 6 innings, 8 Ks at least, and low earned runs. That's just based off what we've seen just recently. So I think these are our three hottest pitchers right now against not the Marlins' three top pitchers. Yuri Perez is a guy who's got an electric fastball. He's been getting barreled up at an extremely high rate and hard hit and hard contact on him all year. And I feel like he's always had our number, and we just haven't been able to figure out Yuri Perez. So that'll be a good one with Kevin Gausman, and then like even Sandy Alcantara has not been good this year. It's not
No.
the Sandy we're used to seeing, and then even Jansen Junk isn't going to wow you at all, as you said. So three pitching matchups for the Marlins, and I think three of our top pitchers for the Blue Jays. So let's sweep and get back to 500. You just got me hyped up. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, let's get right back on the optimism train. Again, won 4 out of our last 5. I'm not going to think about what are we in our last 13 games. That's too complicated. 4 out of our last 5. Okay, that's what matters. We're riding the vibes. You won the last 2 in the Yankee series. Take a series here against the Pirates. Win the Paul Skenes Day. Let's ride it. Get back to 500. Thank you guys for riding with us. We will see you after the Marlins series. And as always, go Jays.